And you know what time it is? It is the summer, which means it is Scout Report season. And let me talk to you about Kelechi Iheanacho. The 26-year-old Nigerian forward is rumoured to be on the cusp of joining Nottingham Forest this summer. And I want to spend some time in this video taking a look at his career so far and just how he would fit in with the Reds if he were to join. Of course, if you've seen my channel before, you know how these Scout Reports work. We spend some time dissecting the player and their career up to date. We also spend some time taking a look at the data and the stats in a little bit more detail, and then try and figure out where their home would be in this Nottingham Forest side. So if you do enjoy this kind of stuff, don't forget to drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. With that being said, let's start talking about Kelechi Iheanacho. Kelechi Promised Iheanacho was born in October of 1996 in the city of Owerri. This is located in the largely ethnically Igbo southeastern regions of Nigeria, and he would spend much of his early childhood playing in local academy setups before linking up with the Manchester City Academy in 2014, although he wouldn't be able to actually play for the club until 2015 due to work permit issues. However, during the early stages of the 2015-16 season, Iheanacho would break through into the Manchester City first team, making his debut early in the season against Watford and scoring his first goal a few weeks later against Crystal Palace in a 1-0 win in the Premier League. And during his first season, he would rack up 800 league minutes with the Nigerian, contributing to 9 goals and assists, or a goal and assist every 85 or so minutes. Unfortunately though, the second season wouldn't quite be as fruitful in terms of opportunities, getting just 500 league minutes, although he did notch 7 goals and assists over that period, with first team opportunities definitely being hard to come for by the Nigerian. So in 2017, at the age of just 20, Iheanacho would make a very brave decision in deciding to leave the comfort zone that was the Manchester City setup in order to join Premier League rivals Leicester City for a fee in the region of £25 million. And that's where he's been ever since, racking up 150 Premier League appearances for the Foxes, winning an FA Cup and contributing to 51 goals and assists over his Leicester career. In my opinion, when you go even deeper, his numbers look even more impressive. Those 51 goals and assists have come in around 6,500 league minutes for the Foxes, meaning he averages around 1,000 or so league minutes per Premier League season over the course of those 6 Premier League campaigns, and he averages a goal or an assist every 127 minutes for the Foxes in the Premier League, or a goal or assist every other game, which I think is very reasonable for a player who is still yet to hit his peak. When you think about it, he's just 26 years old, yet to hit the peak of his powers. And from around 1,200 league minutes this season, Iheanacho has racked up around 3 shots per 90 minutes, putting him in the top 25% of forwards in Europe so far. He also manages around 0.5 expected goals per 90 minutes, putting him in the top 15% of forwards, and around 3.5 shot creating actions per 90, putting him in the top 10% of forwards. Very impressive numbers from the Nigerian. And whilst his raw attacking numbers are very good, I think what you see is a very well-rounded forward. Iheanacho is someone who can beat his man when you look at his progressive carries and his successful take-ons. He's a great outlet in terms of running the channels and receiving the ball from deep in terms of the progressive passes that he receives. And he's a forward who's always put up really decent defensive numbers. He's someone who will do a decent amount of work off the ball, which when you're a side like Forest who don't necessarily see a lot of the ball in their matches, it's going to be important to have someone who's going to do some defending from the front. And I think well-rounded forward is a great title for Kelechi Iheanacho. You get the conventional things, of course, that you expect from a forward. He's a good goal scorer, he's got a good goal record, he's someone who can run the channels, do all your conventional striker needs, but he also does things that are maybe less conventional of a striker. He likes dropping between the lines. He's someone who's happy to receive the ball, turn and scan for his teammates. He's happy to create for his teammates as well and play all across that forward line, which I think makes him a very versatile forward player. And speaking of that, I do want to spend some time quickly talking about him in a tactical sense. Let's quickly shift over to the tactics board and talk a bit more detail on Kelechi Iheanacho. Of course, we've got Nottingham Forest up on the board in the red, and we've got them in the 3-5-2, 5-2-3 sort of shape that got us promoted to the Premier League in the first place, and the shape that we seem to revert to towards the end of the season when we were looking to survive in the Premier League. And I wanted to highlight this because I think this is where Iheanacho's really going to thrive. Of course, you're going to get him doing your conventional striker things. He can run the channels, he can do wide play stuff, but what you get is a really comfortable second striker profile of forward. I think when paired alongside a very mobile forward like Jamie Vardy and like Taiwo Awoniyi could be for us. I think Iheanacho really thrives dropping between lines, dropping between that midfield and defensive line of the opposition, receiving the ball from deep positions and facilitating the other forwards alongside him. Players like Taiwo Awoniyi I think will really thrive. I think Brennan Johnson will do quite well alongside him, as well as it allows defenders, or forces defenders I suppose, to sort of track his run, to bring themselves into Iheanacho and create this space in behind to sort of feed through for his teammates. And of course, historically, we've seen him play in a front two alongside Jamie Vardy. We've also seen him play as a sort of deep number 10 sort of player, looking to link up play and do sort of unconventional striker things, but I think it will dovetail quite well alongside the likes of Awoniyi and Brennan Johnson, who have maybe more mobile and more desire to drive in behind off the shoulder of the last man. I also think there's going to be important to remember there's going to be games this season, just like there were last season, where we're seeing a lot more of the ball, teams looking to set up deep and counter-attack on us, and having a forward who's maybe more comfortable in a possession-based game, who wants to drop between the lines, link up play, isn't necessarily looking to rush things, I think is a really useful thing to have, and I think it goes toe-in-toe with the fact that he is the caliber of forward that we don't really have a like for at the club at the moment. So overall, I do think this is a pretty smart move for Nottingham Forest, bringing in Kelechi Iheanacho. His goal and assist record, 51 goals in 150 league games for the Foxes, is very good in my opinion. He's a player who offers us something very different to the profile of forward that we have at the club at the moment, and of course has that great relationship with Taiwo Awoniyi, and I think they could create a really dangerous strike partnership. And finally, when you look at the fee, it's rumoured to be as little as £9 million, which I think for a player of this calibre, most lower half Premier League teams should be looking at, and I'm glad it looks like Forest are going to get this deal wrapped up. Of course though, let me know your thoughts on Kelechi Iheanacho in that comment section down below, and whilst you're down there, don't forget to drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this Scout Report. I will catch you later.